حي على الفلاح.
If your morning is straight, your day is straight. And when your day is straight, your life is straight. So it's like you're saying, when your morning is good, your life is good. When your morning can be salat on time, istighfar, it begins with a beautiful supplication to Allah between you and nobody else there, just you and Allah there, and you get to have a conversation with Allah that morning. That entire day you will enjoy the blessings of that experience. Everything about that day will be blessed. You will wake up late, you will pray salah half asleep, you will do all of that stuff, and it will have an impact on the rest of your day. And when you do that istighfar to Allah in the beginning of that day has barakah, which makes you more sabir, more sadiq, more qanit. And all of these qualities, you get more and more of them because you started with that. On the one hand, you have those who want to shun the world. And on the other hand, you have those who want to embrace the world and say, making more money and, enjoying more dunya, etc., etc. It's part of life and we have to do it, etc., etc., without consideration for the spiritual harm of indulging. The harms of, going into indulgence. Because it can really slowly start eating away at your heart. From personal experience, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, the more dunya we immerse ourselves in, even though Allah has made much of it halal on us, the more we immerse ourselves in it, the harder it becomes for us to be spiritually connected to Allah. It starts getting harder and harder. It gets harder to cry in salat. It gets harder to concentrate in the dua. It just gets harder. The more movies you're going to watch, the less Qur'an you're going to like to listen to. It's not a fatwa, it's just going to happen. That's just how it is. That's just how life is. So this balance is something one has to learn. وَالْقَانِتِينَ. And so those who are subservient. And of course, if this world has been beautified, but Allah has beautified the next world far more. He has beautified that next world far, far more. Then infaq is actually a key to strengthening one's faith in the afterlife. Why? Spending in the path of Allah, as I've described before, is depositing in your next life. There are some accounts and some investments like IRAs and things like that. You don't get to retrieve those funds until you're 59 and a half years old. Right? You're in your retirement age. Now you can retrieve those funds. Okay? Us spending in the path of Allah is essentially a retirement plan. That's essentially what that is. And the more money you put in it, the more you're looking forward to withdrawal day. If you haven't put much in it, then you're enjoying life now. But if you start putting money away, it's not money you have access to right now. It's not. But the only thing that consoles a person is, it's better for me in the long run. And you'll find people even in the worldly sense, there are people who just want the monetary benefits right now. They're not able to invest in long-term investments. They don't have that kind of patience. When the business opportunity comes in, it says, you're going to get the return on your investment in about 10 years. It's 10 years? No thanks. I'd rather hold on to my money right now. Even if it's not going to grow or multiply over time, I don't have that kind of long-term thing. I'm too impatient for that. Where did this ayah begin? As-sabirin. People who are going to engage in a long-term investment have to have what to begin with? Have to have patience. They have to have patience. And if they have that patience, then when they get to that subservience and the call is made, they're able to spend without a problem. They're able to let go of one of the things that gives them, what gives us comfort in life is money. Without money, you can be in discomfort. And money is a source of comfort. And then the next comfort that even the poorest one enjoys is sleep. That's one form of comfort everybody can have. Even the one in torment in life, when they're asleep, they're asleep. All their problems are gone, at least during those hours of sleep, right? So that next piece of life that one really enjoys has been taken away because someone who really wants the akhirah is al-mustaghfirina bil-ashar. And those who make istighfar at what time? Early mornings, they sacrifice their sleep. They take away that other comfort, that comfort that everybody has. So there's this special comfort from money. They start letting go of that for an eventual comfort. And then there's a daily comfort, and that is that of sleep. People can hate anything else. They'll love sleep. Sleep is something, I know kids hate it, right? But then and most kids, they hate waking up. They're really cranky if they hate sleeping. Once they fall into it, they love it. وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. and rush to forgiveness that comes from your master. وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضِ, and a jannah, a garden, whose expanse is the skies and the earth. وَعِدَّتْ, it has been thoroughly prepared, completely prepared for people that have taqwa. Allahumma ja'alna minhum. For the people of taqwa who are cautious. This time the people of caution are given characteristics, qualities. Who are these people of taqwa? What does that mean practically? الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ. The opposite of riba. Riba is you hold on to your money so it can multiply and you can collect more. The opposite is you keep giving it up. Those who spend, the muttaqeen who spend in as-sarra'i wad-darra, in easy times and in hard times. Darra, when times are hard and tough. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ. So first of all, you have an attitude of spending all the time. You never spare an opportunity for that. The second is al-kadhimin al-ghayz. Kadhama can mean to swallow. One of its meanings is to swallow. But there's another meaning also. They say, for example, kadhama as-siqa'a. A-siqa is the container of water. When you fill it to the top and then close it, so no water gets out, but it's got to be filled to the top, that's kadhama, to fill something to the top. Kadhim, or kadhim, is a person, they say is, or actually before that, kadhm. Kadhm, the word kadhm, the ism, is actually for the nasal passage. And the Arabs would, in their imagery, and they would speak figuratively, they would say when someone's angry, they're kadhim, which means their nasal passage is full of anger up to here. Like all the way up to the end of their nasal passage, they're filled with anger. Okay? You know when people say, I've had it up to here? I had it up to there. Well, they'd say they've had it up to here. Like their breathing is now filled with rage. But it hasn't come out yet. In other words, kadhim is someone who's extremely enraged, but it hasn't left the insides of him yet. It hasn't come out yet. So those who swallow or keep inside, al-ghayz, the anger that rushes, makes your blood rush. The anger that makes you just go, and you clench your fist. And you start shaking. This is al-ghayz, okay? But ghayz also is the kind of anger that it's still before retaliation. It's what you feel before retaliation. You could say anger is bad if you do something about it. But if you just sit there and you just make faces and just go grrr, then it's not bad. Well actually, if you do something about it, that's called ghadab. That's the kind of anger that's called ghadab. Short of that is ghayz. Ghadab is you're so angry, you're ready to do something, whatever it may be. Musa alayhi salam came back to his nation, ghadbana asifan. He came with ghadab. Did he do something? Oh yeah. Okay. Ghayz is you have rage, but you don't do something about it yet. Even that isn't a good thing. You can't even say, I got angry, but I didn't do anything. Allah is saying it shouldn't even. The people of taqwa, yes, they feel angry, but they have self-control enough that they're able to swallow it, not even let it show on their face. That's the kind of self-control they have on themselves. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. And those who lovingly pardon. Al-afu also means to not punish. It also means someone who was ready for punishment, you had the power to punish them, and you decided, no, it's okay. You clean slate for you. This is al-afu. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. And those who are ready and willing to pardon people. وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And Allah, He loves those who excel. Allah in fact is the one who loves those who excel. So the ayah began with taqwa, and it graduates to ihsan. That's an important observation. Taqwa is already there, but people who, because of their taqwa, are able to accomplish these qualities in their life, then they will have reached the highest state that the believer can enjoy, and that is of ihsan. The same progression of how taqwa leads to ihsan will be mentioned in Surah Al-Ma'idah. ثُمَّ اتَّقَوْا وَآمَنُوا ثُمَّ اتَّقَوْا أَحْسَنُوا. That taqwa leading to ihsan will be mentioned later on also. Now Allah mentions these same people of taqwa, they're going to have to spend when it's easy, when it's hard, implying it's not always going to be easy for them to spend. Their anger will be tested. People will do offenses against them, and they will use that opportunity to find forgiveness for them. Then Allah adds, وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً. Those are the very people that if and when the situation arises that they have committed mindlessly, fa'alu, they didn't think about it, they just did it, they were impulsive. Fahisha is anything that brings you close to zina. The Shari'i technical definition that Mufassirun give, al-fahisha hiya allati tuqarribuka ila zina. Whatever will bring you close to fornication, adultery, that's fahisha. Whether that be a glance, whether that be something you're looking at online, whether it's something on a computer or TV screen, whether it's filthy words, whether it's filthy music, whatever it may be, it can take many forms. in simple terms, you can say whatever's lewd, shameless, vulgar, indecent, this fahish. Okay? And it says fahishatan, it's nakira, which implies they mindlessly do any act of shamelessness. It happens. They did something indecent, and they got impulsive and they committed such an act. Not the worst of it, az-zina, anything short of that too. أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ, or wrong themselves in any other way. In other words, fahisha is not the only kind of wrongdoing. Maybe they got angry and said something they shouldn't have said. They weren't able to swallow their anger, right? And they said something. Maybe they got jealous. Maybe they lied. Maybe they cheated. Maybe to just get away from trouble with their parents, they kind of made a little white lie. Not that harmful, but they, how's it going? Everything's fine. Yes, it's okay. Where are you? In the masjid. You're not in the masjid. Okay. Did you go to class? Yes, of course. Of course I was in class. So, it's not that big of a deal. Any other kind of wrongdoing also, dhakarullah, they immediately remembered Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you enjoyed this video, please do share it with friends and family. If you want to see more videos from this series, click on the box at the top. If you want to see other videos, click on the box at the bottom. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks.